King James, a black man who helped to preserve and safeguard the Bible. Live September 29th, 2023. Commanding General YAHANNA, live at King James Castle in Scotland. Come on down and support the ISUPK UK. Lift a glass, come and join the brotherhood and drink with the ancient as we celebrate and keep the Feast of Tabernacles for our King Yahushua in King James Castle, bringing his crew of heavy hitters. Commanding General YAHANNA will put 12 chill General Muhammad scripture breakdown class up against anyone, against any biblical scholar, untested, unchallenged, ISUPK, undefeated. Leviticus chapter 23, the Feast of Tabernacles in a black man's castle, hosted in Scotland, the United Kingdom, UK. Commanding General YAHANNA will be doing the opening of the Feast of Tabernacles in King James Castle, Thursday, September 28th, Scripture Breakdown class. Friday, September 29th, there will be a King James Castle tour, also a Johnny Walker Distillery tour, and Friday night, the opening of the Feast of Tabernacles. Saturday, September 30th, we will have camp on the streets of England. Sunday, October 1st, the UK Cookout. Monday, October 2nd, the Warwickshire Castle Tour. ISUPK under Commanding General YAHANNA at King James Castle in England. This is an absolutely monumental, historical event.
That's the stop. But man, don't we deserve a shot? Don't we deserve a shot to be the Lord's people? Israel, let's do it!
Homeless people that's being shipped into New York City.
Cookout headquarters coming up next Sunday. Not this coming Sunday, but the following Sunday. You don't want to miss that. The rundown is General Muhammad's scripture breakdown class is going to be Friday, followed by Cross the Line. So next week, Cross the Line Radio will be on a Friday, not a Thursday. We're going to have camp more than likely in Times Square. You know what I'm saying? I know the brothers always love the blaze up in Times Square, so we'll be teaching in Times Square. And then, of course, we got the cookout that Sunday. Yeah, I know we got the Harlem Cookout headquarters coming up next Sunday. Not this coming Sunday, but the following Sunday. You don't want to miss that. The rundown is General Muhammad's scripture breakdown class is going to be Friday, followed by Cross the Line. So next week, Cross the Line Radio will be on a Friday, not a Thursday. We're going to have camp more than likely in Times Square. You know what I'm saying? I know the brothers always love the blaze up in Times Square, so we'll be teaching in Times Square. And then, of course, we got the cookout that Sunday. Yeah, I know we got the Harlem Cookout headquarters coming up next Sunday. Not this coming Sunday, but the following Sunday. You don't want to miss that. The rundown is General Muhammad's scripture breakdown class is going to be Friday, followed by Cross the Line. So next week, Cross the Line Radio will be on a Friday, not a Thursday. We're going to have camp more than likely in Times Square. You know what I'm saying? I know the brothers always love the blaze up in Times Square, so we'll be teaching in Times Square. And then, of course, we got the cookout that Sunday.
More than 30 cases involving 5 former police officers who were charged with the second-degree murder in the death of Tyree Nichols, according to a statement obtained by CNN affiliate WHBQ on Wednesday. Shelby County District Attorney Steve Moreau said the office reviewed approximately 100 cases involving the officers. In addition to the 30 dismissals, charges were reduced in about a dozen other cases, the district attorney's statement said.
Okay, a dozen. Okay, just sounds like their cases.
No, I think this is the people that they arrest. Commanding General YAHANNA will be doing the opening of the Feast of Tabernacles in King James Castle. Finally, the truth about King James, a black man who helped to preserve and safeguard the Bible. Live September 29th, 2023. Commanding General YAHANNA live at King James Castle in Scotland. Come on down and support the ISUPK UK. Lift the glass, come and join the brotherhood and drink with the ancient as we celebrate and keep the Feast of Tabernacles for our King Yahushua in King James Castle. Bringing his crew of heavy hitters. Commanding General YAHANNA will put 12 chill General Mahaiman scripture breakdown class up against anyone, against any biblical scholar, untested, unchallenged, ISUPK, undefeated. Leviticus chapter 23, the Feast of Tabernacles in a black man's castle, hosted in Scotland, the United Kingdom, UK. Commanding General YAHANNA will be doing the opening of the Feast of Tabernacles in King James Castle, Thursday, September 28th, Scripture Breakdown class. Friday, September 29th, there will be a King James Castle tour, also a Johnny Walker Distillery tour, and Friday night, the opening of the Feast of Tabernacles. Saturday, September 30th, we will have camp on the streets of England. Sunday, October 1st, the UK Cookout. Monday, October 2nd, the Warwickshire Castle Tour. ISUPK under Commanding General YAHANNA at King James Castle in England. This is an absolutely monumental, historical event.
Want us to stop. But man, don't we deserve a shot? Don't we deserve a shot to be the Lord's people? Israel, let's do it!
Headquarters coming up next Sunday. Not this coming Sunday, but the following Sunday. You don't want to miss that. The rundown is General Mahaiman Scripture Breakdown class is going to be Friday, followed by Cross the Line. So next week, Cross the Line Radio will be on a Friday, not a Thursday. We're going to have camp more than likely in Times Square. You know what I'm saying? I know the brothers always love the blaze up in Times Square, so we'll be teaching in Times Square. And then, of course, we got the cookout that Sunday.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I know we got the Harlem Cookout headquarters coming up next Sunday. Not this coming Sunday, but the following Sunday. You don't want to miss that. The rundown is General Mahaiman Scripture Breakdown class is going to be Friday, followed by Cross the Line. So next week, Cross the Line Radio will be on a Friday, not a Thursday. We're going to have camp more than likely in Times Square. You know what I'm saying? I know the brothers always love the blaze up in Times Square, so we'll be teaching in Times Square. And then, of course, we got the cookout that Sunday.
She said, I got 428.
Yeah, I know we got the Harlem Cookout headquarters coming up next Sunday. Not this coming Sunday, but the following Sunday. You don't want to miss that. The rundown is General Mahaiman Scripture Breakdown class is going to be Friday, followed by Cross the Line. So next week, Cross the Line Radio will be on a Friday, not a Thursday. We're going to have camp more than likely in Times Square. You know what I'm saying? I know the brothers always love the blaze up in Times Square, so we'll be teaching in Times Square. And then, of course, we got the cookout that Sunday. Yeah, I know we got.
Anything else good you think we should go into?
Islam Israel. El 27 de agosto, el ISUPK tendrá su parrilla anual en Marcus Garvey Park del Noreste en Harlem, New York. Tendrá bebidas, comida y música gratis para la comunidad negra, hispana y nativa americana. Así que vengan a disfrutar día 27 de agosto en Marcus Garvey Park. Shalom Israel. El 27 de agosto el ISGPK tendrá su paradilla anual.
I'm not letting nobody sell you crack. You know why? Because I never saw you before. But you a black man like me. That's good. And it's worth something.
This is Black Watch with Commanding General YAHANNA, the only man to lead blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans.
God made man on this earth. The white man he made man. God made man. God wants man to obey him.
Bringing you real news.
You don't need a black man in the White House. You need a black man in every black house.
For many years, there's a lot of black people who didn't realize how deep the racism of white America was.
You ain't gonna do nothing unless you decide where you gonna stand at with the Most High.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
Righteous solutions to issues plaguing our nation.
Boy, you better wake up and see the power that is within blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians.
Join us every Monday from 9 to 11 p.m. Black Watch. Let the show begin.
What's going on? It's DariusJackson in the building. Commander General YAHANNA, I got the helm. Heavy hitters in the building with me. General Micah Allah.
Shalom.
General Hazayan.
Yeah.
Getting it in. General Muhammad is off tonight. He'll be back tomorrow. Officer Marah, Officer Yadiah, holding it down. You understand? We're Officer Ibar, Officer Matayat Nabab. Trooping Bop. All right, holding it down. Been holding it down with us quite some time, doing the thing. Let's get into it. We got a couple things we're going to get into tonight. Y'all heard about the barbecue next week. New York City, up in headquarters. We'll be up in the building, doing our thing, hooking up with brothers and sisters, getting it on. All right. Anything else I'm missing, y'all?
No, sir.
Before we go forward, listen, I got to tell y'all about my lecture coming up in Texas.
Yeah.
Y'all going to love this lecture. This is a freebie, y'all. It's a free lecture. And the name of the lecture is, listen to this good, TikTok. Name of the lecture is, Are Video Games and Pornography Stealing Your Man?
Right.
Hold it now.
God.
Are video games and pornography stealing your man? I got a solution for you. All right. Join me out there in Texas, man. We're going to get it on. That'll be the dates coming up. We got a couple months after we go to Scotland and England. Then we'll come back and we'll jump on that lecture. All right. So we'll get it in that way. All right. Okay. Anything else? Nothing else?
Nah, sir.
All right. Okay, yeah, that's it. Let's go. Want to do it? What you got for me, Yadiah?
Connor Wakan, sir. Connor Wakan. Arkansas issues dire warning to students interested in African-American studies.
Once again, they're trying to stop racism in the wrong way. Keep reading.
Connor Wakan, sir. High school students in Arkansas who take advanced placement courses in African-American history will not be given AP credits for their work. The State Department of Education warned Monday in March, Arkansas passed the LEARNS Act, a new law that bans the teaching of critical race theory without specifying what critical race theory is.
Without specifying what critical race theory is. In other words, you no longer could turn around and get credit for those classes you normally would take in Black history. So the chances of you becoming a Black history professor have slimmed out quite a bit because, of course, they're going to cut you off from getting any credits for it because they don't want critical race theory being taught in the colleges, man. Go ahead, Doc.
Which can probably lead to people not even taking the course if it ain't gonna go toward their credit.
Yeah.
Eventually, and then eventually they'll say, "Ain't nobody taking it. Let's get rid of it."
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Because of course they'll dwindle down, and then when you go back and look in the history books, they'll say, "Well, why didn't people take African American studies?" And they'll say, "Well, we don't know. People just didn't sign up for it, so that's why it got dropped." When in essence, they done wiped it out of the system by not allowing the truth about what white people have done to us in the book.
Yes, sir.
And let me tell you something. That's straight up indoctrination. Anytime you take history, change it, and then feed it to the masses like it's knowledge, that's indoctrination. You being indoctrinated.
And they did this. The South did this right after the Civil War. They did the same thing with the books. Had groups like the Sisters of the Daughters of the Confederacy.
Come on.
They was doing it, and a lot of them were teachers, school teachers. So they start getting rid of certain books and teaching certain things and change what slavery really was, like making it nice and sweet. The same thing going on now.
Amazing.
Like the South is rising. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Exactly. Same exact thing going on right now. Like you got to break. Muhammad, if you go to my Facebook page, I uploaded a video of General Muhammad on the Chicago podcast. It is a great video on how to raise your children in a system that is trying to poison you. Everybody should get a chance to take a look at that video. You can check it out on my Facebook page. I'm sure it's other places as well, but I know for a fact that it's there. Because like you're saying, they're always pushing something that is against regular knowledge, which means they're brainwashing you, trying to make you accept something that's, we go ahead, please.
Esau call it rewriting history.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They trying to change everything. I remember since I came in the truth, y'all used to teach hell. You know what I mean? Your class is great. If 50 years from now, you'll look at a story about Michael Jordan or some great black athlete, and it'll be a picture of a so-called white man.
That was one of my favorite lines. You know what I'm saying? Like you open up that book and see Muhammad Ali, the greatest fighter ever told. It'd be a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white boy sitting in the book.
Be Drago or Rocky.
Right. You know, man. God. You know, man. God. If I could, just along the lines of it, Habakkuk 2:18. Something that we took on. And this, listen, and this is a balancing act of the righteousness of the Lord's chosen people, and a balancing act of the evils that's done by the other nations. In other words, some of this is our fault, but the majority of it is what has happened to us in slavery. Like the Lord didn't go to us and tell us, go get yourself out of slavery. The Lord went to Pharaoh and told Pharaoh, let my people go. In other words, my people are standing here willingly with you, but they standing here willingly because they ignorant to what you're doing. They don't know that you playing games with their mind to keep them in slavery. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of black people and Latino people don't know. And the Latino people, listen, I've been going into some of them Latino studies, brother. Brother, they had some revolutionaries in the Latino world. There was some bad-ass brothers, man. I mean, some go down for the get down brothers. And you don't know nothing about them. You never even heard of them. Like, it wasn't until I got down, I was shocked. Big shout out to Officer Dawada down there in San Antonio, Texas. I was shocked when I got down to San Antonio, Texas, and found out the entire Alamo was a damn lie. I couldn't believe it. We down in damn Texas. I'm like, yo, that you telling me the entire story of the Alamo with these hero Edomites is all a lie. The whole Alamo really was an amazing story about the tribe of Issachar, the so-called Mexicans, man. And the courage they had. They had courage, man. When this beast came down and told them, we're going to come into your land to go get them runaway slaves. Like they protected us. They love to talk about, which she did a hell of a job too, Harriet Tubman, taking brothers and sisters up north. but don't nobody talk about. And here's why. Let me tell you why. Nobody wants to unify these 12 tribes. You hear me, TikTok? Nobody wants to. We was just talking about this earlier. I'm diverting a little, Mike. I know everybody always send me text messages. Stay on topic, you know. You better go back and read Paul writing. Paul switched topics sometimes. You know what I'm saying? God damn it. Stick with me. Real quick. We was just talking about fake Israelite groups and the purple passion fags. And if you notice, they all into Africa. Africa. And I was telling the brothers, you gotta learn as a Hebrew Israelite man. This is something you gotta learn. When you wake up to the truth and find out that you a Hebrew Israelite, you are a soldier for Christ, Yahawashi, in the ranking order of the body. Now, the body is to never get damaged, meaning this: you to never let somebody bring another nation into the body.
That's right.
You are to never let somebody bring a heathen into this body. You violate every rule and law that's listed in these scriptures, man. When you do that, you violate them all. You violate yourself. You compromise your own soul when you step out there and do that. And this cat in this purple cat, since you brought it up, Oz, earlier.
Yes, sir.
That's exactly what he did. He gave his soul up to go after Africans. And here's the thing to learn. Everybody that leads the truth does it. Go look at any fake Israelite group. Yep. You'll see that they all, in some way, either they brought in the Africans, or they brought in the Filipinos, or they saying the white man could be saved, or they chasing white women. Somehow, these little so-called dirty niggas in the hood are not worthy to be fought for. Somehow, these little Mexicans, you understand, are not worthy to be fought for. Instead, to be dignified, to be on a higher level, we got to go now over and go get, the Africans, or the Filipinos,
right,
or this one or that one. Nobody wants to stay on target and handle the business of the king, which is to go get the 12 tribes.
That's right.
He said to go get nobody else.
Yeah.
Go get the 12 tribes is who he said. And so I said that to come back to say in this story that this is what is constantly given to us, to go out and get the other nations, when we should care about us. Like I said this when it first came out. We've been teaching critical race theory, brother, since 1969.
That's right.
We are the experts of critical race theory.
That's right.
You understand? You didn't need to go get black PhDs from Princeton to validate critical race theory. We was telling it to you from the beginning. The mistake being made is that we're not forcing it on our own children. That's the mistake that's being made. The mistake that's being made, like how you gonna have the truth about every evil act that they've done that is worthy of criticism against blacks and Latinos, and you got no effort to push it on us. Instead, you pushing it on them.
Right.
I don't get it. Y'all cut it anytime you ready. I just come driving through the suburbs, right? Around 3-4 o'clock, I'm coming down from upstate. And I'm local. I'm going local. And I'm riding through the suburbs, and I see all these beautiful houses these Edomites got 5 minutes outside of here. And they got their little children and their Range Rovers and all that. And I'm looking at them, and they're going about their business. And I'm saying to myself, do our people believe that these people are in these cars and in these nice houses and are saying to themselves, we're wrong and we should give this up and give it back to the people that it was stolen from? We were wrong. We haven't been. Are you kidding? Here's what they've been taught since a baby. They've been taught since a baby that you go out and get what you want. You get what you want. You get control. You don't take no losses. That's what their children are taught. Am I lying?
That's right.
Their children are taught that. So when they become an adult, you wondering why they don't accept critical race theory or accept the compassion on you. It's because they taught not to. And his was doubly, if I could, last point. His was insanely doubly worse. What's insanely doubly worse is that you are taught to try and draw compassion out of them. Do that make any sense? Like they can keep their spirit of the hell with everybody else, I'm going to get mine. That's where you get it from. You didn't come up with that. They came up with that. Doggy dog world. You didn't come up with that. They came up with that. And they able to keep that spirit. But you got to get on a spirit of everybody should be loving. And here's the thing. It's so sad. Because while you trying to teach them to have love and compassion on you, of course, you got to be the example.
Right.
So with all that they've done to you, you got to be compassionate to them while convincing them, hoping that they'll have compassion on you.
That's right.
So you got to start off as an obedient, converted, compassionate human before you could even talk to them about being it. Teaching critical race theory to Edomites is the dumbest thing in the world.
Right.
It's the dumbest thing in the world. And now they got to issue a warning. They got to issue a warning because now on the state level, under governors, they're going to cut you off. You're not going to get the credit that you're supposed to get. On the governor levels, you will not get the credit in state appointed colleges in the Midwest, in the South, if you try to take black studies, because they gutted the black studies course. They gutted it. And you wonder what's going on. This struggle has never stopped, will never stop until nuclear bombs fly across continents and destroy these nations.
That's right.
When you wake up and turn on CNN in the morning, thank God for what you see when it comes to Africa and Russia and China and Taiwan and the United States. Thank the Lord. You understand? Because that's who you're supposed to be working for. You can give me more if you want, if you got more in the story.
Oh, that's pretty much it for the story.
That's it for the story, but come on with it. Slock, I think the general trying to
Yeah, give me two scriptures, brother. Give me Psalms 101, verse 7, real fast.
You was going to just make a quick statement?
Oh, I had this scripture
Okay.
too.
No, that's all right. No, come on back. All right, go ahead. Give me Rebecca real quick and then I'll come back. Slock, yeah.
That's a no sweat, let's get it.
Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 18. What profiteth the graven image that the maker therefore have graven it?
Right. What profit is it to you if you take a hammer and a nail and a chisel and you chisel you out a god that's a piece of stone? You take a piece of wood or a piece of stone and you chisel out a god and you set them up, the Anunnaki and all these other gods you Negroes coming up with lately. The Lord has given us the thing we need. What's in the 1611 project is everything that we need to educate our brothers and sisters and to bring them out the dust. Yet millions are being spent to shove it down their throat, and they just, with the stroke of a pen in the governor's office, wipe out the whole damn study.
Yeah, right.
What good is it, man, if you build a God for you to serve? Go ahead.
Kana Wakan, sir. Kana Wakan. And a teacher of lies.
And that's one thing that I loved so much about the truth when I found the truth. When I found this truth, man, this young man sitting in that chair, and I'm reading about the truth, and I could not believe, I never read the Bible before. That was a blessing for me. I never read the Bible. I was never a church guy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I never read the Bible. But so reading the Bible and seeing that the God in the Bible didn't want you to make a God made out of stone, I said, damn, that's love. That's a hell of a love, my like you see your son playing with a Ken doll, let's say. And he playing with the doll, and then your son put the doll up on the shelf and say, "Oh, hail to Ken. Oh, hail to the God of Ken." And then you come in the room and be like, "Oh, what are you talking about?" "Yeah, Ken, Dad, he's the God. He's God." And you be like, "What are you talking about?" "See, Dad, look at the booklet of Ken. Ken, the surfer. Ken, the sports car driver. See God? See, Daddy? Ken is God. You're going to be like, boy, get that Ken doll down. He ain't no God. That ain't nothing but a doll. That ain't nothing but a toy. You got bigger things in life to deal with. Not no plastic doll. What's wrong with you?
Right.
Right or wrong?
Right.
Now you gonna feel some kind of way, like my son being shorted. Now, if you love the boy, you would tell him not to worship the Ken doll.
That's right, sir.
And brother, that was the love of the Lord. When I saw that, when the Lord said, "Thou shalt have no other powers before me; thou shalt not make unto thyself any graven image, nor worship it," the Lord ain't want you to put nothing else over it. And when you take critical race theory and you attempt to give Edomites critical race theory and fight that they might change their heart to accept critical race theory, you are worshiping them.
Right.
You look at them as a necessary God for you to worship. They are the damn Ken and the Barbie doll. Right. And you are worshiping them. And a God that loves you would take it away. This is why he told the prophets to not do it. Finish that up. Go ahead, General.
Just gonna say, and that's why Christ said to Israelites, "You are of your father, the devil." You know what I'm saying? He called them the devil because they looked at these people like they were greater than God, like they had more authority than God.
Yes, yes, which has always been the problem. And now, and here's the thing: they come at us on the governor's level. You know what I mean? Like they squash the whole state when they make a move on us. Go ahead, finish that verse. I'm gonna let you in. I'll let the general in.
Khan, sir. That maker of his work trusteth therein to make dumb idols.
Right. That the maker, he trusted in his work to make a dumb idol, man. That's what you do when you try to make people that's not of our nation accept critical race theory. Because here's why. Let me can I give you one more quick example, please, y'all? Yes, I don't mean to run on. That's all right. One more quick example. If you and me and an Edomite are sitting in a room, and the Edomite believes the room is red, and you and I believe the room is blue, right? And we two black people, there's a white man. He said this room is red. You and I look at the room and say, look, we can see this room is blue. Now, if it's necessary for you to function, that you have to convince this Edomite that this room is red, then he is your God. Right or wrong?
Come.
Like, why wouldn't you just say, listen, you and I agree, let's go forward in what we understand. Instead, you like, no, we can't go forward in that. We must get him to agree to. And that means you are not a independent human being anymore. That means he owns a part of your brain.
That's right.
Or at least a part of your acceptance, and that is worshiping the Lord said, put no gods before me.
Right.
Slack, if I can, in the Apocrypha, 1 Ezra 8:85. The card brought it up earlier, where the Lord said, never seek their peace that ye may be strong. Their peace is their approval.
Yes.
Their love. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Their permission.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So that we can be strong.
Yes.
And that's why, they don't respect Slack.
No, listen, you so right. That's what keeps us weak.
Yep.
And now the governor drove with a stroke of the pen, buried the whole thing. You finished that verse? You was at, General?
You want to bring something out?
Huh?
Good enough, boys.
All right, Mosai, give me Psalms 101.
That's crazy.
Verse 7. And it's to piggyback off of what Commander YAHANNA, Charlamagne Tha God said. These same people that you're looking at as being your kin doll, your God, the Lord said that they are not gods. Like, by you worshiping them, you following what they tell you. You following the philosophy and doctrine. And let's see what the Lord said about them and their philosophy and doctrine, how they are not the people of the Lord, but you are. Read Psalms 101, verse 7. Sir, the book of Psalms, chapter 101 and verse 7. Right. He that worketh deceit. All right, they working deceit with you, man. They want to get rid of all your history in the land. The things that they've done to us, they want to get rid of deceitfully. You understand me? They want to get rid of it. All the history that you suffered in this land, that your forefathers suffered, they want to get rid of it. I remember when they said that they wanted to get rid of slavery and say we came over here voluntarily. Right. You know what I mean? Where there's no more slave trade or how the slave trade happened. Deceitfully. He that worketh deceitfully. Only one man on the earth doing this. Nobody else is doing this but them. Go ahead.
Colin Wakan, shall not dwell within my house.
Shall not what?
Shall not dwell within my house.
Now you know right there for certain that the Lord said they are not his people, man. You in church worshiping their gods, their Christianity, their Roman Catholicism, and all the other stuff they got going on. The Lord said they are not his people, man. You understand me? Sir.
Slogan, real quick.
Sir.
And who needs motivation more than our children?
Right.
Like, who needs to feel encouraged and motivated and strong and valiant than our people?
That's right, sir.
But meanwhile, you ain't even gonna bring that to us. You're gonna try to bring it to them. Either they some dumb politicians or somebody got an agenda to nowhere. Yep. They done put you on a treadmill like a rat to nowhere. Yep. Salakia.
No sweat, sir. Can you continue, brother?
Colin Wakan, sir. Colin Wakan. He that telleth lies.
No. Go ahead.
Colin Wakan, sir. He that telleth lies.
He that what?
He that telleth lies.
That's what they're doing right now, trying to change the whole critical race thing. I want to bring it out. And if people wiping it out, they want to wipe out your history. They lying. Go ahead.
Colin Wakan, shall not tarry in my sight.
They're not going to be in the sight of the Lord. So how you find yourself now going to establishment that you call church on a day that they made up for Sunday to worship when it's really Saturday and thinking you worshiping God? You're not. You're not. You're worshiping the people that the Lord has rejected. That's what you're doing. You're worshiping them. When the Lord said they're not going to be in his house. Give me Isaiah 59:3 real fast. Unless you want to bring something out,
Colin Wakan, Colin Wakan, sir.
Give me Isaiah 59:3. Unless you want to bring something out, Yediah?
Oh,
Go ahead. Give me Isaiah 59:3 then. Come on, real fast.
Colin Wakan, sir. The book of Isaiah, chapter 59 and verse 3. For your hands are defiled with blood.
This is them that's lying. This is the one that want to reject the critical race theory because they know in that critical race theory is going to bring out all the evil they have done. They don't want their kids seeing this here because it's going to play on their kids' emotions now. Their hands are defiled with the blood of our ancestors, man. You understand me? For over how many people died in the slave trade? What's the number? On the slave trade coming from the land of Africa to the land of North America, how many died?
99 million.
99 million. You understand me? 99. How many Native American Indians died in this land?
100 million.
Come on, are you kidding me? Your hands are defiled with blood. That's why you want to try to get rid of the whole critical race theory, because you don't want your kids hearing it and they going, oh my God, what did we do? It's so bad at what we did. They're going to feel sorry for what happened. Because your hands are defiled with blood. Continue reading, brother.
Colin Wakan, and your fingers with iniquity.
The lies, the policies you make, like how Commander YAHANNA brought out. But that finger, you went on ahead and wrote it away. Like it don't mean nothing. Hands filled with iniquity, evil, wickedness. Go ahead.
Colin Wakan, your lips have spoken lies.
You're lying about everything. The Bible says, words are smooth as butter, but war was in your heart. That's the history of our oppressor. Right. From the time they came to this land to right now. To right now. All the murder and the killing going on amongst us. How? You understand? We look towards the law enforcement as being something to keep us safe, but they're killing us. And then you holler about what's going on in the ghetto. We don't own Smith & Wesson. We don't own Glock. We don't own Heckler & Koch or Sig Sauer. But we got them. We got them. Who's giving us access to these things? Y'all are. You were doing those things, man. Continue reading.
Sir. Your tongue hath muttered perversiveness.
Your tongue, meaning the things you say that come out of your mouth, are perverse in the eyes of the Lord. You understand me? Perverse in the eyes of the Lord. That's it, sir. Come on with it, brother. You want to say so? Come on,
if
baby.
I may, sir, what Commander General YAHANNA said, what you said was so heavy. In verse 4, it says, none calleth for justice. Yeah. And what's so heavy about that, these universities can say, oh, no, you can't push critical race theory, but you can allow celebrities like Brett Favre to take millions of dollars from poor Black and Latinos, you know what I mean, and build your facilities. Yeah. You can have an Edomite family, you know what I mean?
For his daughter.
Colin Wakan, sir. You can have an Edomite family in the Tullys, you know what I mean, rob the NFL player Michael Orr and, you know what I mean, rob him of millions and millions of dollars while he receives not a dime. So what Commander YAHANNA, you were saying, sir, is just so heavy. This happens to this day with our people. So like,
crazy.
Damn right.
Damn right.
Damn right, Bobby.
All right. Let's keep it pushing. What we going to next?
Protesters continue pushing back against Florida's new Black History standards as school year kicks off.
Keep going.
Khan, a month after the Florida Board of Education unveiled new standards for teaching Black history, which include having teachers explain how enslaved people develop skills, which in some instances could be applied for their personal benefit.
Imagine that. And they know it's a straight up lie.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Khan, sir. People in the Sunshine State are fighting back. According to AP News, various teachers, students, and activists marched to the Miami-Dade County Public Schools headquarters to protest in the new curriculum on Wednesday, August 16th. Nearly 50 protesters made the mile-long march, chanting, "What do we want? Truth." It's like it. It says, upon arriving at the school board, they were greeted by additional group of protesters. Melvin Dunn, a professor at Florida International University, organized the march and says that the governor, Ron DeSantis, and his new standards will simply not be tolerated.
Sir, they push that. They push all those lies about how slavery benefited us. When, if it wasn't for the same program they pushing, you have access to books like Babylon the Timbuktu, which showed that even while we was hiding in Africa, before we got on the boats, we had skills. We had blacksmiths, goldsmiths, treasurers. You know what I'm saying? We had a whole system of government and self-function. We had engineers, you know what I'm saying, carpenters. We had every facet of skill we already had. And that's why they put us on those boats and brought us over here, because they wanted those skills. So now for them to lie and say like we was just monkeys walking around, ain't know nothing, and slavery trained us, at least taught us something, is disrespectful. It's an atrocity.
Yes, it is. And listen, I'm gonna go to that scripture you pulled out, brother. Give me Isaiah 59:4. Give me that one, right? We're gonna break that down to go along with this here, because some of the things that's going on, they saying this is being done by the ones in power. You understand? Like how Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida, are allowing these things to happen. Let's read it, man. Isaiah 59:4 real fast, brother.
Khan, sir. Isaiah chapter 59 and verse 4. None calleth for justice.
So when it's saying none, it ain't talking about the protesters. This is talking about the leaders. They're not calling for the justice on how it's supposed to be. Go ahead.
Khan, sir. Nor pleadeth for truth.
They don't want to bring out the truth of what's going on, like how Jeremiah said, how we was systematically taken from over there because of the skilled labor we had. And it's such a skilled labor that the country would not be founded without us. Like, how do they forget that? Without us working on farms and working on stuff we worked, the country wouldn't be what it is. It just wouldn't. None calleth for what? Truth. None pleaded for the truth of what's really going on. Because when you really look into the nooks and crannies, you're going to see that this country will not be what it is without them slaves, man. It just wouldn't happen. Go ahead.
Khan. They trust in vanity.
They trust in things that don't mean nothing. Go ahead.
Khan. And speak lies.
And they lying about a whole lot of things, man. That statement he made, go back to that statement he made where they talk about why they, in the beginning of that article you read just now. And read that one more time, brother.
Khan.
Because we're going to bring out how he lying about these things. His direct lie go right what Jeremiah said about what our skill was. Go ahead.
Khan, sir. It says about a month after the Florida Board of Education unveiled the new standards for teaching Black history, which included having teachers explain how enslaved people develop skills, which in some instances could be applied for their personal benefit.
You see that? We develop skills. Well, how do we develop skills that we already had? I don't get that part right there. Like, you went over to the land of Africa and got us from different places because you knew what we were capable of. You understand me? You knew we were able to do certain things. Okay, and this is what I want to know. What do they teach us at the hand of a whip? You tell me what skill we learn when we get our backs whooped. You tell me. What skill? Somebody got to break that down for me, baby. I want to know what skill we got from for the end of a whip. Huh? What skill does it take to go pick cotton? That take endurance. But it ain't no skill to go pick something. You understand me? All lies, man. All lies on what they saying. Now you can drop that. Go back to the scripture, brother.
And then the skills we so-called learn from slavery, we can use it later on to do what? Work for you again, right? Yeah. Build your country up some more, right?
Right.
Yeah. So,
like, and damn near, if I could just add to it,
yes, sir.
It's so evil in this. So while you out working in slavery and you thinking about everything that your family done went through over years that got you in slavery, that you went through in slavery, you supposed to now be thankful. You're supposed to be thankful that you spent 400 years in slavery. You're supposed to be thankful because they did so much for you in giving you skills. It's not only is it such an evil lie, it's such a brainwashing tool, and it's unprecedented in the United States for somebody to be able to rewrite history. Like, that's like bedrock against the way the United States lays out its history.
Yes, sir.
But of course, now they so worried about the empires collapsing that they got to now turn around and, you know, wipe out the history of what we went through. You give them enough time, you'll open up a textbook and you'll think slavery was just like Reconstruction. Mm-hmm. Everybody was learning skills, building together. Okay. We all worked together. You know what I'm saying? Okay. We were balancing out the society. Yep. But meanwhile, the atrocities that we went through in this place are supposed to never, ever be forgotten. Kevin Costner one time said something that was the actor, Kevin Costner. He said something. He said one of the wisest things concerning slavery I've heard an Edomite say, because they don't say much. But he said they were discussing all of what was going on. And Kevin Costner said, look, America's a great country and we did a lot. He said, but we are still left with the plague of what we did in slavery. We're still left with it. Like which is what's supposed to happen.
Yep.
They're supposed to be stuck with that plague. They're
yes,
supposed to still be going through that suffering.
Yes, sir.
You understand? And so now, trying to get rid of it, they're going to try to change the history.
Yep.
Which is, once again, this is even doubly why our children should be taught these things. Doubly why our children have to be taught what is not being taught in those schools. Twice as much. You see what I'm saying?
Come.
Damn right. Come on, let me go on.
Can we finish the last part of the scripture?
Go ahead, please.
Go ahead, you die.
Khan Wakan, sir. They conceive mischief.
This is what Commander Junior YAHANNA said. That was like right heavy on point. So I want to go to it, you know.
Go ahead, that's it.
They committed mischief on what they saying. You know what I mean? They want to change, you know, that what happens to lies. And if what we learned was so helpful for us, why did you burn down the cities that we built? We separated from you, used the skills, so-called skills you gave us, and built our own communities, and you burnt them down. And slaughtered and killed the people in there, men, women, and children.
And let me just, before you was getting ready to go back to the next story, you die.
No, there's a little bit more in the verse.
Oh, okay, go ahead. Let me let you finish, because I'm going to add something to you real quick, then we're going to move on.
And bring forth iniquity.
And bring forth all that evil you have done. So that's the general.
Let me tell you something that's so, ridiculous. That, okay, they want to wipe out our history and our records. And when you go back and look at the history and the records of nations all over the world in history, they got a cliche where they says, the victors write the history.
Yeah.
Why do you think the Lord gave us these records and kept these records? Because if not, they would have wiped our history the hell out. We wouldn't have no history, which is, once again, I don't understand, why wouldn't we teach our children all about critical race theory? All about the atrocities that they've done. Because in doing so, what would we do? In doing so, we will then turn around and teach our children what they would not be able to take away. Like the opportunity now with the internet, with all this technology, the opportunity now to fill our children with the real story to preserve it is better than it's ever been in history. Why wouldn't you give it to him? Why wouldn't you give it? Why are you on such an agenda to try and give it to another man? It makes absolutely no sense to me, man. I got to go on. Come on with it. Go on, bring me on into them other stories. Tell me what you got. Whatever you feeling. You can get one more in before if you want.
Mother slain by boyfriend in front of young son mere days before child's 4th birthday.
Good.
Khan. Cassandra Sims, a 29-year-old daycare owner, was shot and killed by her boyfriend DeAndre Martin before taking his own life. Heralding Sims' young son Royal was present during the ordeal, and he marked his 4th birthday less than a week after the tragedy. To be missed, he's definitely going to miss her. He said he also pointed out the signs of domestic violence often go unnoticed until it's too late. There's signs, but we never see them from the outside. It can be silent cries for help, and we do not realize until a mother leaves a child.
That's what we always say. You gotta know that. Like, it's outside of the school, man, and these houses, these black homes, it's hell up in there. In these black homes. If they ain't in the school, man, they don't know, you know what I'm saying? They don't know nothing about what we teaching and ain't listening or ignoring, especially up in that church. It's hell going on in these houses with these Christians, man. It's ridiculous. I mean, just to hear this is, you know, now this child gonna grow up traumatized and horrified, leading him down. He ain't got no guidance. Who's gonna guide him now? He probably throw him in some home, bounce from home, shelter to shelter, or you know what I'm saying? Give him some type of housing, which they abuse the black children, of course, and he gonna end up just, you know, being another addition to the horrible things going on the streets.
Yeah.
Hey,
who knows? Who knows where that scripture is? Where the Lord said, "Where the Lord is, there Satan is close behind." Something like that. Anybody know that one? Paraphrasing it. Nobody never heard that one. Well, that must have been in the 17th dimension.
Cut him up. You said Satan is close behind, sir?
Yeah, I was saying Satan, but you could say the devil, Satan. My point is this. Let me tell you something, man, that every black person should know. When you seeking out the Lord, the first thing you better understand is that every wicked bastard is trying to hide behind the Lord. That's why the church. You wonder why is the church so evil? The church is evil because wicked men hide behind God. That's the point. That's why they don't. That's why they don't like the Israelite school of UPK. They don't like the Israelite school of UPK because you can't hide behind God here. You have to be a man of God or a woman of God. But in church, you can hide behind God. Listen, the vilest human beings, the most vile human beings, love church because in church they get to dress, look, act, and pretend like something they are not. They get to act like they're a different person. Them people you see pulling up in them nice cars on Sunday at church and wearing them nice suits and talking such good language, you look at them like those are the righteous, the best of our people, and those are the worst of our people in all tribes. The worst of our people love church, love to hide behind God, love to hide immorality underneath the Lord. And that's the difference. And that's why, no go. I'll look it up. What's it say?
It says, and Yahweh shall answer and said unto him, "Get thee behind me, Satan."
No. Okay. Don't even worry about it. I'll look it up and get it and kick it back out to y'all. I should have just looked it up before I said anything. But that's basically what's going on. And that's exactly what you see in here. The reason they can't see it in these houses is because there are no rules. How you gonna have a house with no rules? Like if you go to the church and say, well, what are the rules? The rules in church are have a good heart to Jesus. So it's like your heart got to be, you come to Jesus, that means your heart is going to be right, which is such a fantasy. That's such a lie. Just because somebody say they confess that Jesus Christ is the Christ, that means they have a good heart. The devils did that.
Yep.
Right or wrong?
Come.
The demons said that. When Christ came to cast them out and cast them into the pigs, they said, "Hast thou come to get us before our time?" They knew who he was.
Right.
They recognized who he was.
Right.
It didn't mean that they now was going to convert and be righteous. They went in them pigs and ran them pigs into the water and killed them pigs. Didn't change them. It's a ridiculous idea to think people will change because they say, "I confess the name of Jesus Christ." The confessing of the name of Jesus Christ is you changing your spirit. You becoming a different person than the person you were. You getting an understanding, a realization. You getting educated in these scriptures to make you a different type of human being. And now you operate based on those new rules, which are not new rules because they're old rules that been here from before. Which is also why the church seeks to take away them rules, because they know that you're an immoral piece of garbage. They know that you can't keep a moral rule if a gun was to your damn head. So they take away the rules so you can pretend to be righteous, so you can be the wicked human being you really want to be. That's what you got to know when it comes to these religions that's out here. All of them. These religions that's out here, that's where the wickedness of our people like to be at. Because they like to pretend to be something that they're not and hide behind this truth. Not this truth, but the book of the truth. That's why they got the book in there, not behind the truth, meaning the truth. But they use the Bible to hide behind it. And the best one to hide behind is the Bible. Why? Because if you're in church and you hiding behind the Bible, you could really pretend like you live in a totally different life. And instead, you murdering children, molesting children, raping children. God knows what else you doing. Scamming the people. Yeah. Like every evil act was built and proliferated in church. Every one of them, starting with the sodomy, which is one of the most heinous. Like many people will allow you to go in, in many directions. But you start going into sodomy, you going on a whole nother level of evil to most people. Not in church. Church is pushed. Give me some more of that story out, if you don't mind. Let you get in if you're trying to get. Okay, yeah, don't even drop it. You can drop it.
Charlamagne. That's pretty much it on the story, sir.
That's all the story?
Oh, that was
on that story.
On that story.
Yeah. She killed the baby, or the baby was killed in front of her?
The son's boy, her boyfriend killed her in front of her son, and then killed himself. You sisters got to pick a man. Pick a man. Listen, in the Israelite school of UPK, we got a 1-year rule. I pray every sister holds that rule. Yeah. I pray because listen, even in 6 months, you spend 6 months around a person, you will know what kind of person you're dealing with. If you spend 6 months, in 3 months, you'll get a good idea. Now, a real monster, you may not learn in 3 months, but by 6 months, you're going to know what you're dealing with. And if you really hold it down for a year, forget about it. And you ain't losing nothing. When you keep the 1-year rule in Israelite school UPK, you're not losing nothing. You are gaining something. Two things you gain. Two great things that you gain when you uphold the 1-year rule. You gain a better you. Yeah. And you gain a better man. You gain a better man. When I say a better man, I don't mean one man is better than the other. Meaning you gain the type of man that's right for you and
You giving yourself enough time to make sure you pick that right man that's right for you. That's the better man.
Right.
The better man is the man that's good for you, the man that fits with you, the man that joins together and can be one with you. That's the better man. And giving it time makes it a better man, makes him a better man, and makes you a better woman, and gives you time to reveal the illness. If the church did what we did, you would avoid half these sociopaths.
Yeah.
Half these sociopaths. Yep. Go look at the entertainment world. 95% of the singers, black female singers that get half naked in that world come from church. Where do you think they learned how to sing from? Ain't nobody got singing lessons in the hood.
Nope.
Who's sending their child a singing lesson? The kid is in there learning opera and octaves and all that. D flat, Susan, and all that. Who the hell is doing that? You learning it from the choir.
That's right.
While being molested by the deacon, while fighting with the other kids, while being humiliated by some angry black woman. That's where you learn it. And when you make it to Hollywood and bust out, then you go berserk. You go bananas. You become KekePalmer. You butt naked then. You don't want nobody to tell you a thing about how to dress, how to act, what to do with yourself. When those rules save our lives.
That's right, sir.
Them rules save our lives. And let me tell you something. We got such definitive rules in the street. The street got definitive rules on how you got to operate. If we as a people adopted the same definitive rules, you wouldn't have to go to your slave master for nothing. Imagine that. 2023, you got to go to your slave master to get clarification on sexuality. Do that make any sense? You in 2023, you got to go to your slave master to explain to you the new understanding of sexuality. Jalaki, I'm running on. That makes no sense. You got more on that story? That was it. Jalaki, anybody?
No, that's it.
Let's keep going. Crazy, man.
Tell them what kind.
That makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah.
And you sit up in church, brother, you're gonna learn every evil act. You're gonna find the vilest people if you know what to look for. If you know what to look for. That's why in here we teach you how to discern the spirit on brothers and sisters. So you can help them come up out of the darkness they're in. You gonna say something, General?
And you remind me that the scriptures say, Satan himself is changed into an angel of light. And that's what the church do. The church, like the general said, it's the most vilest place you could ever be. But they have learned to sugarcoat all of it.
Yeah.
They make all that evil taste good, feel good, smell good, look good. But it is Satan in its rawest form. You're
so right. Down to the dress code, carrying the Bible with no bag, the way they talk. It's the vilest thing. And then when you, like you said, you go back to them houses, what's going on inside them houses is nightmares.
Right.
It is nightmares going on in the houses in blacks and Latinos neighborhood. Absolute nightmares going on. And I mean nightmares on a regular basis. The Lord, when he got us out in the wilderness, said, you know what? I'm not taking none of you niggas into the and I say niggas, I'm talking about all 12 tribes. Salaki TikTok, I didn't mean to say that. All 12 tribes. He said, I ain't taking none of y'all in the kingdom. I'm going to leave you out here 40 years in this desert till I get rid of all of you. I'll take your children in. That's how messed up we was. So we just as messed up now.
Right.
So what are we supposed to do? We're supposed to turn around now and start to go and do the will of the Most High so that we do not become those people. And if we have been, we come out of being those people we was before. That's it on that? All right, let's go on.
Yeah, right, General.
Give me all your big hitters.
Khan, KekePalmer pokes fun at boyfriend drama in Usher's new Vegas theme music video.
Give me some more. You can't play it though,
Oh, lie, sir.
The video you can't play. Yeah.
Lie, sir. I can explain it, sir.
Go ahead.
Yeah, KekePalmer recently was in Usher's new video, you know what I mean, called Boyfriend, poking fun at, you know what I mean, her child's father, DariusJackson. I mean, the controversy that went on with her showing both her briskets, you know what I mean, and being all up in Usher's face in Las Vegas, sir.
Right. Now, listen, she got chastised being that way that was out there. But my question is, what's in this brother's mind? Like, what is in this brother's mind? Like, what kind of low-life thought? Unless this is a stunt. You know what I mean? Because you never know in Hollywood. They be doing all kind of stuff. Rock Hudson had all the girls around him. Rock Hudson ain't touch a girl since he ain't touch a vaginita since the day he came out of one. He came out of one. That was the last time he knew what vagina was. He was a full-out sodomite in Hollywood with the deepest, hardest voice, looking like a real man. Meanwhile, he was the cheek buster. You understand? And what happened? Got that AIDS and died once again. So now it could be a stunt. Now, if it's not a stunt, here's what's so evil about it. What's evil about it is, where is Usher's integrity? And once again, let me tell you something. Once again, don't let people in Hollywood make you think that they don't have an obligation to carry themselves a certain way in front of you. This man ruling over us has taken away our right in our minds, that is. In our minds, he's taken away our right to demand certain behavior out of famous people. You got a right to demand that out of famous people in the kingdom, man. In Christ's kingdom. When you go back and read in history, man, them cats that did wicked and evil in the sight of the Lord got put to death. What do you think the law of stoning was for?
Yep.
That's where the law of stoning came from.
Yep.
The law of stoning came from somebody doing something they ain't had no business doing and humiliating and teaching the entire nation to do something that they should not be doing.
That's right.
And when found guilty, got dragged into a pit and stoned to death. So that everybody's collective mind get moved to where it's been. We ain't doing that now. Don't nobody go out and trip and say, you know, YAHANNA telling people to stone people. I'm not saying that. What I'm trying to say is that's what we got away from.
Yep.
We got away from that. When we should get back to that level of morality, of course, not without the stoning. But we should always have the collective mind to put it out there. That's why everybody, elderly people, everybody should get up on social media. Because that's where, instead of running down to the voting booth, oh man, they got me now, my Instead of running down to the damn voting booth, trying to vote some politician in, you understand, you should run down there and get on social media and let brothers and sisters that do this type of immorality know to stop doing it. That's what you should do. And we should be shocked because for all this Christianity, boy, I don't see a whole lot of Christian moral pushback to this evil. Do you?
No.
Have you heard a rapper or a singer or somebody do something highly immoral and they get millions and millions of backlash hits? Rarely. Rarely. Everybody's morals should be on social media.
Yep.
Like she's supposed to say to herself, nah, I ain't doing that. If I do that, everybody gonna drag me. I'm not doing that. Yeah. He should be saying the same thing. Yeah. Nah, I ain't gonna do that. You took the gloves off of them when the gloves should be on them. And thanks be to the Lord, the ISUPK, the gloves are on. We pressing on the Lord's agenda.
Damn right, General.
And that's what everybody's supposed to be doing. You know how much we could get done with this internet, man? You know how much? Do you know that this internet is, in essence, it's a collective mind. It's a collective mind that goes in whatever direction the collective mind wants it to go in. If the 12 tribes came together and set the agenda of morality, then guess what? There's nothing they could do about it. We would push it in the direction. That's why everybody was shocked on the Alabama docks when the Edomite wouldn't attack the brother for telling him to move his boat. And everybody on the internet saw the incident. The collective mind said, that was right what them brothers did. The collective mind saw it.
Damn right, General.
And that's why you can't let Esau's collective mind become your collective mind, because then guess what? You're going to think like he thinks.
Right.
Then that means he got more than you in slavery. He got your whole entire mind in slavery.
Yep.
And the only way for him to not take your collective mind, guess how? You got to have rules of your own.
Right.
You got to have moral rules of your own. And by putting them rules together, pushing them rules out, guess what? The rest of blacks, Latino, Native Indians, their voices will get lifted up too.
That's right.
Their voices will get, you could decide what you want it to be. And that's, let me tell you something, that's something I noticed with blacks, Latinos, Native Indians. We never decide what it is because our mind is shot. Our mind is shot with knowing that we can decide. We don't believe we can decide. It was one time when they believed black men would never wake up and come into the truth. They believed that black, Latino, and Native Indian men would never wake up, come out the world, would never adopt morality. Most black people think that black people are the horriblest thing in the world. I guarantee you, your next door neighbor hates you. I can almost guarantee it. I can guarantee you that everybody in your neighborhood hate everybody else in the neighborhood. I can almost guarantee it. Right or wrong?
Come.
The most you're going to get is some politeness out of each other. Good morning, good morning. That's it. Other than that, everybody hates everybody because everybody has the wrong opinion about the people that live next door to them. And nobody's strong enough, save the UPK, to stand up and push back against it. Right. I got to go.
So I'm going to bring something out on that, sir.
A few questions. Yes, now, this video, that's Usher's video that Mirage just had?
You can't play that video.
And that's the sister, the brother's woman. And so the problem with this video is just her being in a video after grinding all on Usher. Is that what it is? Okay, no sort. Or is it more in the video that's going on? Just
the car, you saying this morning, I seen the car shaking his head. You said,
no, I was just shaking my head right. That's
okay. Yeah. Like once again, if it's not a stunt, then brothers are supposed to hold Usher to account. If you don't want nobody screwing your woman, then you had better make sure that brothers ain't screwing somebody else's woman. Like you're gonna have to take a stand to get a stand.
Right.
You understand? You're going to have to plant some apples if you want to eat apples. You're going to have to plant some oranges if you want to eat oranges.
Yeah, right, Joe.
And you're going to have to plant some morality if you want morality.
Right.
You're going to have to plant brotherhood if you want brotherhood.
Right.
You're going to have to plant dignity if you want dignity. You're going to have to plant it.
That's right.
It don't come out the sky. You got to plant it. You don't want to wait till he come out the sky because then it's too damn late. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's too late then.
Yep.
You want to do it now. You got more on that? Y'all had something?
Yeah. Give me Ephesians 4:22 real fast. Now give me Ephesians 4:22. And a lot of this is general. They trying to be relevant. You know, Usher fell off. He ain't had no songs in a while. Her career
That's
going.
What made me think it's a stunt.
Yeah, her career going and everything. But this is one thing they did to make this happen. One thing the church pushed. Like the church learned you, Black, Hispanic, Native Indians, and they learned what good button to push for you. And you know what it is? Your lust. That lust, that intense desire for things, they know how to push that. And in Hollywood, they push the lust, which is why she was in a concert with, what you call them? No, what did you call them? You said her.
Showing her briskets.
With her briskets out. She was at the concert with her briskets out because they teach that in church. They teach you to go for your lust. But it's why Usher went up and danced with her. He fulfilled that lust. His and him and her and her. They come from the Christian church, man. Right. But when you come back to the Lord to do what he say do and get that morality, the Lord tell you to fight that lust, man. To get rid of that lust, to deny that lust. Damn right it should be pushed back off of what she did. You damn right. Push back off of what she did. You're doing it, you know what I mean? And standing on it, and to the end, it's us in here. Because we got God's word. Now here's what the Lord said. Your evil behind lust, brother. Now, play it for me. Read the
No,
scripture, brother.
You can't play it.
Read the scripture, brother.
Oh, you're not playing it. Okay, my bad. Thought you.
Ephesians chapter 4, verse 22.
Should we keep it going with the fact that KekePalmer
conversation? The old man, which is corrupt according to the deceitful lust.
You heard what the Bible says? That old person, you got to get rid of, man. You got to learn how to not be him no more, not be her no more, and deny your lust. That's done through discipline, man. That's done through the IXUPK. You come in here, we're going to teach you how to fight your lust. How to learn how to deny yourself of the things you want. That happened because of the lust that both of them took. And the lust that Hollywood pushes, man. They teach you that in Hollywood. I knew a cat that did music, right? With a school for music, right? Thought he was going to be like how Boys the Men were, right? And he told me, and we told me he was working together, right? He told me that when he went to school, they teach you to play music that entices your feelings, that build that emotion in you, that build that lust inside of you. That's how he was taught to play music. Make beats the whole nine. That's what Hollywood push. That's how they push it on you to control you. But if you come and serve the Lord, man, you got to learn how to deny that feeling, deny that lust. That's very, very important. That's the high morality that Commander Junior Hanna was talking about. Denying your lust, denying yourself. Keep on reading, brother.
Connor Wakan, sir. Connor Wakan, verse 23. And be renewed in the spirit of your mind.
Now you're going to learn how to be renewed in the spirit of your mind. You're going to be clean. Renewed meaning being clean. You know what I mean? Being baptized. Not being dunked in water, but you cleanse yourself with the word of the Lord. That's how you get clean. That's how you become renewed. Keep on reading, brother.
Verse 24. And ye put on the new man.
Put on a what?
And ye put on the new man.
Now the new person going to come forth. So now, even though maybe her girlfriends or something inside her wanted her to wear that, she said, you know what? I can't do that. I can't be led by my lust. Usher singing a song or whoever's singing a song, they see that, they go, you know what? Ooh, I can't do that. I can't entice another man's woman. I can't do those things. Keep on going.
Connor Wakan, sir. Which after God is created in righteousness and true holiness.
Now you're going to learn how to get right with the Lord, man. Now you learn how to do the things the Lord said do and deny that lust. You know what I mean? And deny those things going on. That's just so sloppy.
Go ahead. You die. Was that it on that story? Tell me what else you got.
Charlamagne Tha God cooked on his show by conservative LarryElder.
Keep going.
Kano Khan. Elder pounced on Charlamagne about not checking Joe Biden for stating that African Americans are not black if they support Donald Trump.
He definitely played it. You can play that out, can you?
Might not be able to, so.
Yeah, it's a rough one. Everybody can go check it out. Go ahead, Nicole.
If I'm not mistaken, no, I was just saying, I think that it might.
I know you probably got to go.
We got to find out. If we can put it in, we'll put it in. But I don't think we can. But either way, LarryElder cut the hell out of him because, of course, he did look stupid when Joe Biden said, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. I mean, that is like a super racist statement. Like he's a white a black man said it. Like if a brother said it, you could halfway be like, he just being, super fruity. You know what I mean? He's puffing himself up. Like I'm the man, you don't vote for me, you ain't black. But if a white man says it, come on, TikTok. If a white man says it, what are you saying?
How Joe Biden gonna revoke your black card?
Yes, exactly. He gonna revoke your black card with a white card. Damn. Like would show you. I'm coming to you in a second. Was just like you saying, it show you how little they think of us.
Right.
That he don't even think he got to pander to you to get your vote. He look at you like if you don't vote for me, you just a sucker. You just ain't black. It show you how small he think about us. He would never say that to nobody else.
Nope.
Even in jest, he wouldn't say it.
Nope.
You know what I mean? Go ahead. You gonna say something, Nicole?
Like when I first heard that and it came out, I was like, man, it gotta be like a black person in the PR team because I know white men is bold, but That's a bold statement that you only hear in the black community when they say, like with Bill Clinton, you know, they're like, you ain't black if you don't vote for Bill Clinton or Obama or something like
and it ain't that bold. It's really how we're taught to think. Like, we taught to think if you don't vote for the Democratic presidential candidate, you ain't black.
Right.
And listen, no backlash, not a single backlash, not even from the person he said it to. No backlash would show you that they don't have no they have no sense of respect for us. Once again, like our world, our white American world is a joke. So much so that a presidential candidate didn't have to feel uncomfortable by telling a black man that, you know, you ain't black if you don't vote for me. And of course, once again, another example of how these hosts are paid. In essence, he's right in that these hosts are paid by so-called Jews. So if they paid by the so-called Jew, then they're gonna shut their mouth. Like he dare not. That's why he said, I don't get upset over it. When you go watch the tape, he said, I didn't get upset over it. You damn right you ain't getting upset over it. You ain't getting upset over it. Anita might can come in there and say what he want to say, and you ain't getting upset over it. You're going to be quiet. You're going to behave yourself, which is, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
He probably got his orders before the show.
Yeah, like, you know, Biden coming on, you better, you know, like if the Breakfast Club was a real independent show, they'd have Trump on. They'd have Biden and Trump on. Like, that's a cat that you don't own. He like, look, I have both of y'all that hated on both ends of the scale. I'm gonna have both of you on. You know what I'm saying? But he can't do that. Go ahead.
Trump said, "What do you got to lose?" to black people.
That's what he said.
Both of them said similar things.
Exactly. Exactly. That's right. So if you don't do it, then it shows you that they own you.
Yeah.
And brother, the last thing, slavery is the worst thing that could ever happen to you on any level. On any level. And that goes on your slavery as well. If you got to compromise your morals because of your slavery, you in a bad position.
Right.
You in a bad position. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he did it twice. You know, he did it with Joe Biden. You know what I mean? Didn't say nothing to him. You know, Joe Biden admitted that he did that. You know, put all them brothers and sisters, in prison, and he didn't apologize for it. He didn't take back what he did or felt sorry for. He was happy he did what he did. And that goes along with all the things he said. But also, too, that cat, Charlamagne Tha God, did the same thing. But what's the cat? The rap cat. Did the same exact thing.
Yeah.
Same exact thing. Shut his mouth.
He tread lightly with him because, of course, he can't. He can't. Like, if you want to be on the Breakfast Club, like, that's why it's some validity to this, to those that say, well, you got to sell your soul to the devil. You may not literally have to go and have a ritual.
Right.
But in essence, you got to curb certain things that you say, or you will not be accepted, which is why the truth is the greatest thing that ever happened to you, because you no longer have to enslave your soul.
Right.
You no longer have to have a compromised position. Like, we could never be Democrats or Republicans. Why? Because some things that the Democrats do are good for us, and some things they do are horrible for us. We could never be Republicans. Some things Republicans do are good for us. Some things Republicans do are horrible for us. So how could we ever be any one of those? But if you allow yourself to be enslaved, then yes, you can. You can become part of the Democratic side of the fight. When we should never be part of the Democratic side of the fight. And here's the other thing. If we was never part of the Democrat or Republican side of the fight, here's what we would be able to do, which is so much better. We'd be able to choose our own leaders.
Right.
Like, why does the candidate have to campaign for your vote when you got leaders that can tell you, don't vote for him because he's this, vote for him because he's that? You'd be able to know which one to vote for. Not a leader that's owned by the same political camp, but you need leaders that are independent, that say, look, we need to do this way because this works, or do that way because that works. or go to the politicians and say, we need this, this, and this. And then tell brothers and sisters, all right, we can put them in office.
Right.
Not necessarily vote for them, but put them in office. That's what we would be doing. But of course, we so lost in the sauce that even the so-called politicians that's for us don't even respect us enough to say, I'm here to try to win your vote.
Mm-hmm.
Like Joe Biden should have been obligated to say, well, I did this and I did that and I did that. Listen, they do everything for the Edomites.
Yep.
And every year when they go out to campaign, they talk about every single thing they did. Even if they got to say it year after year after year, they do it. Right or wrong? Because they got to tell them what they did for them and what they'll do for them to get their vote, but not you and I. They probably told him, man, you don't got to go in there and go into details. Just show him you the brother. You know, do the Bill Clinton, put the dark shades on and play the saxophone. They'll get the point. I'm for the black. And now you all come on and vote. Suckers. That's a man that have no respect for you.
Yep. Kind of the one.
You know what I mean? So he ain't no worse than Joe Biden. I mean, than Donald Trump. They both just as bad.
Yeah.
Which is why we need our own rules. And our rules live in the Bible.
God.
Our rules live in our world.
God. Which tells us when we choose a king, the Lord got to choose him, and he got to be one from amongst our nation.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? So that's that. So that's Christ.
Bang.
And if he ain't on the ballot,
Bang.
who the hell you voting for?
Right.
Christians?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Like we got us a king. And that's the thing. We take lightly that we got a king.
God.
We take lightly that we actually have a king. That our king went and took the first bullet, took the first killer.
Mm-hmm.
He said, look, I'm going to lay out everything for you, and then I'm going to take the first shot. Everybody follow suit behind me. We walking into the kingdom.
Right.
Like, that's a leader.
Yep.
And we got it. He went and did the job. 33 AD. He did it. So all we got to do, man, is carry them records that he gave us and do what he said, come together in the body, and guess what? It'll get done.
That's right, gentlemen.
It'll get done. You know what I'm saying? That's what we call to do in this work. Anything else on that story? Let's go. What else you got in there? You got a couple more big hitters, right? Let y'all get back in. What else you got on that list? Just give me an idea if you could.
Emerging economies are pushing to end the dollar's dominance. But what's the alternative?
That's a good one. If you don't mind, Mariah, I'm going to go to that one, all right? That's a good one. Third World War, baby. It's on. Go ahead.
Kanawha Khan, sir. Business has vanished at Kingsley Odeb's clothing shop in Nigeria capital, forcing him to lay off 3 employees. One culprit for his troubles stand out. The U.S. dollar's strength against the Nigerian currency, the naira, has pushed the price of garments and other foreign goods beyond the reach of local consumers.
Show you the power of Esau's dollar. He got power, boy. He'll change your whole economy based on how he wields his dollars. Go ahead. Nice and loud.
Kanawha Khan, sir. A bag of imported clothes costs 3 times what it did 2 years ago.
Go ahead.
The price tag these days is running around 350,000 naira or $450.
Go ahead.
There are no sales anymore because people have to eat first.
Right, meaning they can't sell nothing over there in Nigeria because everybody got to use their food to eat instead of using their food for clothes. So they stuck. So their clothing businesses are shutting down over there. Go ahead.
Kanawha Khan, sir. Kanawha Khan. Across the developing world, many countries are fed up with America's dominance of the global financial system.
That's part of this Third World War. Them African countries are starting to listen to Putin and Russia and see whether or not they can go to the other side to fight against the United States.
Yeah.
Go ahead. So they all choosing sides now. Go ahead.
Kanawha Khan. Especially the power of the dollar. They will air the grievances next week at the BRICS bloc of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa meet with other emerging market countries in Johannesburg, South Africa.
They're going to get together in South Africa with all these other countries and talk about how they can come up against this U.S. dollar. Like they bringing this thing to the brink of the Third World War. Go ahead,
Connor one con, sir. It says, despite repeated, it says, but gripping about the king dollar is easier than actually disposing the de facto world currency. The dollar is by far the most used currency in global business and has shrugged off past challenges to its permanence.
Right. Like you can't get away from that buck. That's what they're saying. You can't get away from it because it's dominant. It's going to lead to a whole lot of conflict. You know what I mean? You about to see Africans die at wholesale numbers real soon. Keep going.
Connor Wakan, sir. Connor Wakan. Despite repeated talks of BRICS countries rolling out their own currency, no concrete proposals have emerged in the run-up to the summit starting Tuesday. Emerging economies, however, discussed expanding trade and their own currencies to reduce their reliance on the buck.
Right. Nobody want to jump out there first and say, damn that dollar, we're going to take on this bill. Because they don't want the U.S. to go fly something over their head that you can never see until it hit the ground. They know what kind of beast they're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? So they know before they step out there to go there. So they want to slow walk it by trying to trade more in their own currency and stabilize their own currency more than anything else. You got more?
Just a little bit more.
Go ahead.
Connor McCon, the BRICS groups dating to 2009 originally, it was just BRIC, a term coined by Goldman Sachs economist Jim O'Neill to refer to the rising economies of Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, joined in 2010, adding the S to the name. More than 20 countries, including Saudi Arabia, Iran, and Venezuela, have expressed interest in joining BRICS.
Right, so so it started out with just a term for them countries that was making a lot of money. But now they start coming together now, and now they're going to work against them. And, brother, that's all leading to an amazing, amazing, beautiful day. You was going to say something, Nicole? It's all leading to a beautiful, amazing day when we all come together and watch these nations do themselves in and justice be served. Like we're not monsters for wanting to see justice served on this earth. We spent 12,000 years, 6,000 years serving every nation on this earth. And now to see it set right, you understand, where Christ rules the earth, and now the nations get to serve us. There ain't nothing wrong. They overthrowing each other and making themselves servants of one another. Why can't we want our king to take over the earth? Christians claim they want Christ to return. You want Christ to return? Okay, here it is. He's going to return in this Third World War, take over everything, and set it in his right order. You say that's what you want. If that's what you want, here it is. You got more?
That's pretty much it.
All right. Go ahead, Al.
If I could, so if I could ask a question,
please.
That's the WAP.
Please.
So if I may, from them trying to promote the different currencies, that's gonna, you saying that's gonna force the little small countries and other countries to pretty much choose a side of who they allied with to make their country grow or their currency grow?
In other words, imagine if the American dollar is the blue dollar, and then other people got all these other colorful dollars, right? So now what they want to do is they want to start trading in these other colorful dollars back and forth a lot and less in the blue dollars. So now they trade more in these colored dollars, less in these. Now, when they trade enough where these colorful dollars are strong, then they come together and create $1 for all these dollars. And now they start trading in that $1. Let's call it the green dollar or the orange dollar. So now they all trading in the orange dollar. Now they competing against the blue dollar. And if they trade enough, they lower the blue dollar enough that they no longer have to get the blue dollar. They trade in the orange dollar, which means now The blue dollar can't control their country by the weight of their dollar. In other words, the United States can raise interest rates or lower interest rates on dollars whenever they want. If they want to put you out of business, they just raise interest rates and crush your whole economy. Or if they want to help you out, they can lower the interest rates and you can make a ton of money. So in essence, they rule the world in how they do it. And the reason they're able to do it is because the majority of the way you trade oil is through that dollar. You can't trade oil around the world. And the reason they hold it under oil, that's why they call it the petrodollar. Because the oil, everybody got to have oil. You want to run planes to fight a war, you have to have oil. You have to be able to run your tanks, your trucks, your cars, your jets, your planes, the fuel in your bombs. You got to have oil, fuel that comes from oil. So they trade the dollar that way so that everybody got to be cool because you don't want to get cut off. Like that's why Putin is suffering now, because they cut off his ability to trade in the dollars, which means now he got to trade in other currencies, and they're telling other countries, don't you trade in other currencies or we're going to cut you off from trading in the dollar. So it's like an economic war that they're fighting against everybody else. Think about it. America don't produce anything. Why is it America could be so rich when we don't? What do we produce? We don't produce nothing. We produce a little bit of farm food, mostly corn oil. But America don't produce hardly nothing. Not on no world scale, but they ain't worrying about it because you got to trade in that dollar. But if they ever lose that, it's the end of America. As you know, they go to war. They go far enough, they go into war, which is what's one of the ways that all the empires are going to be led into this third world war. Even Saudi Arabia right now is saying they might want to go with the Russian dollar and stop trading oil with America. That's probably a bluff, but it's still a questionable tactic. Because if they stop trading oil with U.S. dollars, a loaf of bread will be $150 tomorrow morning. You wake up tomorrow morning to get a loaf of bread from the farm to your house, it'll be the label will say 150 U.S. dollars. You'll be like a third world country right now. You know what I'm saying? And so America going to drop bombs on whoever try to stop that, which is once again how you know the biblical prophecy is so right that they got to go to this point. They ain't got this thing that you see them in. They will never come out of this. This will go on and on and on and on until the bombs drop. They cannot get out of it. The Lord done drew them into this war. And it's an absolute beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Go ahead, Murrah.
Okay, sir, if I can ask one more question
Please.
too, if I may. So it sounds like, tell me if I'm wrong, sir, when you said they can lower the interest rate or higher it, does that tie into what it says about no man shall buy or sell when you talking about the commerce?
That's exactly it. They shut down whole empires from being able to buy or sell because they controlling this currency, controlling this oil, controlling this wealth, so that you can't move how you want to move. And so they start shutting your empire down. They start shutting your nation down and trying to stop you from obeying them. You know what I'm saying? And listen, that's why I give you a perfect example of it. They just announced, what country was it? I think it was Niger. They just announced an African country that they was about to cut them off because they did not accept the LGBTQ community. You about to say, Nakar, you know which one? Is it Niger?
It's Uganda.
Oh, Uganda.
Yeah, Uganda. And also, to talk about that currency thing, Nigeria.
And Nigeria.
Yeah, Nigeria just launched their own currency. So what they doing is, Africans some scammers. So what they're doing is the people money that they had in the banks, they telling them, hey, you're gonna have to transfer to this, or your money is going down the drain. We're gonna seize it, and you're gonna have to do it. And they say like $40 They survive off of $40 a day there.
$40 to $40, I think $40 a year.
Yeah. Con. So it's like now a lot of Nigerians over there tripping out because they getting hit with the whole currency switch.
Right, because their leaders are trying to fight for some independence from the other countries, the countries that have had strongholds on them for so many years. They're trying to break free from them. This is all part of this Third World War. They're trying to break. They're trying to get from up under the slave master, and then trying to get from up under the. And the reason they're trying is because they're getting help from another slave master, which is Putin. He's saying, I'll help you. You'll be free. You'll be independent. I'll give you guns. Go up against them. Break from them. Why?
Yeah.
It's in his interest. If they break from him, first of all, they'll wipe out France. If 3 or 4 of them countries break away from France, France going to descend into hell. France will be wiped off. They'll bring in the military. France will go over there and bomb the country into the Stone Age. They won't have a choice because their economy will sink into the ground. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what he's offering them. So they've taken the bait. And let me tell you something else. Nigeria is filled with oil. Nigeria is filled with oil. So if they start their own currency, they can trade their oil in their currency, providing they don't get moved on by the U.S. or somebody else. But they're hoping that China and Russia will protect them, which will happen to a degree, which will jockey them both into position, fall into that valley of Jehoshaphat. And the Israelis, you know, broke through the blockade that the Russians had in Ukraine and went up in there and got all the grain over there. So the so-called Jew is out there in this mess too. So it's getting ready to get real. You're going to hear about them. You're going to hear about some good skirmishes coming on. The whole world is getting ready to change right now. They may change to digital currency in the United States in a minute as well, just like over there. All right? Go ahead,
Isn't Nigeria where all the so-called hostage that these black people going to right now?
It's Ghana.
It's Ghana?
It's Ghana.
Okay.
It's Ghana. They all running over there to Ghana. I got news for you. If you in one of them third world African countries, you better listen to your daddy, the slave master, when he tell you to bring your behind back to the United States. Because you will hear the stories of people being eaten very shortly. Them Hamites, you know, they believes in a good shish kebab.
They're going to start with the dog first.
They do not let a good meal go to waste. You understand? And right now, it's looking pretty daggone bad. Also, too, a couple of African nations are talking about invading Haiti, which is a heartbreaker. Y'all heard about that? A couple real quick while we got a few seconds before we go. A couple of those African nations, I forgot which one is leading it, but one of those African nations are talking about invading Haiti and taking over Haiti because they finding out Haiti got a whole bunch of resources that they've been sitting on and that they need real bad with their technology. And so that means Haiti got the potential to be very rich. But of course, you'll never see it. Like them African nations are rich as hell. But you'll never see it because, of course, they rule by the slave master.
Right.
Just like you are rich as hell. The so-called black man in America, the Latino, Native Indian, you are very rich in this empire. You ain't poor in this empire. You rich as hell. The reason you suffering and starving so bad is the same reason the Africans are starving. The same reason all nations are starving that are starving is because somebody's ruling over them that's making them pay more than their fair share of what they should be doing. Like, do you know the only reason you pay all the interest rate you pay on a house or why you pay rent is so high is because the government just decides to raise the inflation. They don't have to make it that high. They don't have to make it that high. They just do it to make more money. So they starve you to death based on their ability to make more money. So same thing happening over here is happening over here. That's why I say slavery is the worst thing that could ever happen to you. That's got to, your priority to not be a slave has to be absolute number one, because the first person that puts you in slavery is going to suck every ounce of resource out of you and take it for themselves. And why should you be in the lost 12 tribes of Israel, whom God breathed his breath of life in? Why should you live like a slave while somebody else, who also is just another human being, live spectacularly and wonderfully as a people and enjoy being loved by the world while you are hated? That is what God is coming to straighten out. That's what the Lord is coming to fix. That's what he's coming to put back into its right order, as it should be. Okay? You got anything else for me before we go? Come on, bring Enrique in.
Khan, sir.
Come on, General.
I don't know if you heard, I saw a story, just World War III story.
Sure.
Where the Iranians moved on a U.S. Warship in the Persian Gulf. They had drones and speedboats they sent to surround it, made it stop, made it land the helicopter, I guess, to inspect it.
Yeah.
1/5 of the world's oil go through there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
right.
I was surprised to read that how they moving against the U.S.
Right, because they sick of them drones. Them drones don't cost the U.S. nothing. They just fly in, drop a bomb on you, and fly out. They don't lose no manpower, anything, and they are sick of them drones. And them drones see everything going on. There's drones flying all over in the United States. You never even see them. If they wanted to, they could drop a bomb right out the sky if they wanted to. Okay? And that's what's going on in them other countries. They got them drones out there looking at everything they doing, like you saying. They watching them the waterways. They watching every ship.
Yeah. Well, with this one, I think these drones was the Iranians.
Oh, they had their own
Iranian drones and speedboats surrounded this big ass warship.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? This U.S. warship.
And took it.
Well, they didn't take it, but they inspected it. I guess made them stop everything they was doing.
Right. So we getting wonderfully close to a very, very serious day. We getting wonderfully close to the changing of the guard to the kingdom of heaven, to the Lord's kingdom being set up. Let's get Enrique in before we run.
Khan, sir. Justice Department seeks 33 years in prison for ex-Proud Boys leader Enrique Tarrio in January 6th case.
Boy, oh boy. Because
they said 33 years?
Yeah. Because they found out that the Proud Boys, the Oath Keepers, and other groups had met with Roger Stone, Trump's man, in a basement garage. And they were discussing what they was going to do. In other words, they was working this thing from multiple angles. And now they come to find out they had these radical militia groups on deck to do all kind of damage. So that means even though he wasn't in the Capitol, his members were in the Capitol. And because of it, he's part of the conspiracy, which carries a lot of time. And that's Fed time because they on top of the Capitol. So you get Fed time for that. So they're gonna tax him. He's done. If they take him, he's done. If he ain't got nothing to sell that's worthy to them, he got to give up Roger Stone. He got to give up everybody if he want to see the light of day after that. And let me tell you something. You are a dumbass in America if in 2023 you still trying to conspire to do stuff. This man, brother, got so much. The Lord have given him this ability to have these electronics. And let me tell you something. It's the best thing in the world for you because it's what's going to keep you out of a cage. Him having them electronics is what's going to keep you out of a cage, as it should be. You know what I'm saying? But this idiot going to turn around. First of all, that's an Israelite. Join the Edomites to fight against his own people. All because the Edomites killed his parents over there. Because Fidel Castro killed his parents in Cuba. You know what I'm saying? And who knows who he works for? He admitted he was an FBI informant. So who knows who he works for? He may never see the light of, he may never see the inside of a jail. What ridiculousness, man. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're going to be a criminal, you better be a damn good criminal in 2023. You understand? You better be a real damn good criminal. And number 76, you right. I did warn him on them podcasts when we was with him. We warned him about what he was doing and how he gonna end up in prison if he don't stop, get rid of them, get away from them Edomites who got their own agenda. How you gonna have the agenda that they have? You're not even one of them. You know what I'm saying? And sure enough, he in the jam. Go ahead.
And he said, well, just like you got your tribe that you stand strong with, I got my tribe that I stand strong with, my beliefs and XYZ. But they were your beliefs right now, brother.
Right. You better hope he get accepted by them white supremacists when he get locked up.
Oh, they're gonna reject him.
You better hope he get accepted by them and all that, because you got Dylan Roof and all the maniacs up in there. You're gonna have to dance to their tune, because now you going in there with black people knowing you was fighting against them. Like, what a dumbass. Like, what? Like, who does that?
And one guy, you have 5 pictures up. 4 of them that said guilty, and 1 said not guilty. And that one that said not guilty, his face looked like he was the damn snitch.
Damn.
He was the one who gave it all
They
up.
gave the rest of them all up.
God.
You know what I mean? Like, let me tell you something, man. Donald Trump is good because Donald Trump got a lot of people who were not into the politics of the day. Alex Jones, all of them. He got all of them swept up. And they all joined in on that nonsense and did all kinds of dirty things. And now they coming after them. Them Democrats, they coming after them with both barrels, serving they behinds up, which is, once again, if you came into the truth or you heard us teaching, you avoided it, you better thank the Most High, because the Lord blocked them from being able to do you in. Politics of this empire is not our game.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Politicians have never changed our lives. They have never, ever, ever, ever changed our lives, and they never will. We have to change our lives by obeying the Father. These laws, statutes, and commandments, like we mentioned earlier, all we got to do is adopt a world of our own rules. Not rules that necessarily go against Esau. A lot of people say that too. It's like you trying to do your own thing. I'm not out here robbing and stealing and selling dope. Like, you mad at me for saying we got to have rules, but you breaking all the rules.
Right.
Like, I ain't talking about breaking every one of Esau's rules. I'm talking about making rules that work for us despite Esau's rules. But instead, a lot of you want to go out there and break all the rules. Like, you think that's what being free means. You think being free means I don't follow no rules. I don't listen to nobody. You're a fool. You're a fool. That's what happened to them. They running around like ProudBoys. We don't listen to nobody. We don't deal with nobody, until somebody came along with a good ass story, gassed you up, put some money in your pocket, and marched you down to the Capitol building on January 6th and got the whole lot of you locked the hell up. And now this cat facing 33 years for being a dummy, for being an idiot. You understand? When you could have just woke up to the truth and walked with the Most High. And that's what's beautiful about Hebrew Israelites. Hebrew Israelites ain't going to jail, man. We ain't going to jail. We coming out of the jail.
That's right, sir.
And preventing other brothers from going into the jails. Like, there's a way to navigate in hell. It ain't the prettiest, it ain't the warmest, it ain't the sexiest, but there's a way.
Right.
You can navigate in this place. Having the brotherhood will help you when you don't have what you need. We coming out of this world with all types of problems. The brotherhood is how you get through those problems. The understanding of the scriptures is how you navigate through this evil world and get to where you got to get to. Go ahead, Nicole. Go ahead, read it.
This is Isaiah chapter 30 and verse 1. It says, woe to the rebellious children, says the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me.
That's heavy.
And that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit.
Right. That's that church. You cover with a covering, but not of the Lord's spirit. Once again, you make yourself look like the righteous people, and you wicked as you can be. That's why you in politics. Go ahead.
That they may add sin to sin.
That you add wickedness to wickedness. You already being wicked, and you cloak yourself in Christianity to do more wickedness. Go ahead.
Verse 2. that walked down, that walked to go down into Egypt, and have not asked of my mouth.
Right. When they say walk to go down into Egypt, it means you go join Esau's world. Right. You trying to become a politician. You trying to take on the gods of Esau's world. You trying to become part of Esau's world without checking from the Lord, which is a horrible thing to do. Go ahead.
To strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh.
That's right. To strengthen yourself in the strength of Pharaoh. Like Pharaoh said, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. Right. Like this is the Pharaoh saying, this is how we get strong. You all vote, all you black people vote for me. We gonna get strong. Well, he in office now, ain't he? And guess what? Ain't nothing changed. Right. The reason for that is because everybody believed in Pharaoh and strengthened themselves in the strength of Pharaoh. Right. Instead of strengthening yourself, like General Mayat brought out earlier in that class earlier, where you said that the Lord said, Brett quoted for me, to seek no peace with them. That you might be strong.
Never seek their peace.
Right. Never seek their peace, that you might be strong. That's why, once again, man, listen, don't let nobody play you. Please be smart. Christianity, Islam, the Quran, the Book of the Dead, the Egyptian Book of the Dead, the Anunnaki, the Emerald Tablets, the Book of Enoch, the Book of the Mormons, all of it is garbage. Right. Compared to this book called the Bible.
Damn right.
All of it is garbage. And let me clear up something else too. Real quick. I'm coming to you in a second now. Let me clear up something else too. The Lord never said, give me that scripture if you can real quick. You died where the Lord said, you are not the greatest of nations, but the least of nations. You know the one I'm talking about? Get that for me. Because a lot of you so-called fake scholars run around and say, well, there was books here way before the Bible. The Bible plagiarized off of those books. We are the youngest nation, and the Bible is not plagiarized off of those books. Many of those stories were stories that were worldwide. If you find the story of the flood in another nation's records, it's because every nation was there. It was only Noah and his 3 sons and his 3 daughters and his wife. So of course, every nation got a flood story. You go to Babylon, they got a flood story. Go to Assyrian Empire, they got a flood story. Go to the Egyptians, they got a flood story. Everybody got a flood story because everybody was there. So it don't mean somebody plagiarized the flood story. It means that they got their own version of the story because they was there. That's what that means. Okay, that's another misconception about these scriptures. Go ahead.
Khan, sir. You want to Deuteronomy 7:7, where he said, the Lord did not set his love upon you.
Yes.
Khan. Deuteronomy 7 and verse 7. The Lord did not set his love upon you, nor choose you, because you were more in number than any people.
The Lord loved an underdog. Yep. He ain't set his name on you because you were more than any other nation, because you were the mightiest of nations. Go ahead.
Khan, sir. Because, and more than number than any people, for you were the fewest of all people.
You was the fewest. You came later on. Babylon was already built, had a whole empire, multiple cities, before the Lord told Abraham, get the hell away from your whole empire, from all your people. I'm going to go build another kingdom with you, and it's going to be greater than anything you ever saw. Where did Moses go when he left? He went down to Egypt. So was Egypt here? Hell yeah. Way before we got here. Was Babylon here? Way before we got here. We were the least of the nations. We came later. But we were the greatest because the Lord put his hand on us.
Right.
That's what made us great. So you going into your records and say, see, these records are older than the Bible. Of course they are. Does that make them the right records? Hell no. Because all those records laid down by those nations are the records that they wrote that made themselves great. You ain't reading in them records how we got destroyed and overthrown and wiped the hell out. Do you read that in them ancient records? Hell no, you don't. Because they writing the records for themselves.
Right.
How you know our records are right? Because everything you read in there is how we messed up before the Most High. That's all you read about. We messed up, went into slavery, got our behind kicked, dragged our way the hell out, begged, besieged, fought. That's what you read. I remember coming out on the streets. Muslims used to tell me, ain't no way that book is the book of God with all that tragedy in there. Ain't no way God did that and did all them evil things. That ain't no book of God. What they didn't understand back then was that that was the truth about what God did for when we went against him.
Right.
God didn't have a book that made us look sweet and candy cane and nice. He told the real record of what happened to us, which is why, damn right, which is why them scriptures is everything. You know what I mean? Real quick, Marah, before I run out of here, I'm at 5 minutes over the time. What you was going to say, brother? Marah?
Got one con, sir. I was just going to add the Moors, too. Add all the books of the garbage, the Moors, too.
Yes, you know what I mean? All this about what laws you got to follow, and you don't have to have a driver's license. And all this stuff, every last bit of it is all trash. There's only one book that came from God, and that's the records of the Bible of the children of the lost 12 tribes of the children of Israel.
That's right.
That's the record that you got to study and learn and understand. And you adopt them rules, brother, you're going to set up a real righteous nation that's going to actually get something done.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Just and like you said, all that history in that Bible and all that tragedy, it was just it's a million ways to piss off the Lord.
Yeah.
And the things written aforetime were for our learning.
Damn right,
that's our lessons on don't do this shit no more. So,
yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Like we live a different existence than your fake God, some statue you worshiping, or some religion you worship that says that this God is so magnificent and wonderful and powerful, and you follow it and you will be magnificent and powerful, and there's no downside to it at all. That's a damn lie. And then when you go back and you read about all those fake gods in the past, you go back and read about all them fake gods in the past, every last one of them fake gods, punished their people, or their people believe that God was punishing them every time a tragedy happened to their nation. They believe that God they worship.
Shalom, Israel.
Hold off on me, Marah. He was angry because of this, or he was angry because of that, or he was angry for this reason. That's what they say every time.
Right.
When who the hell cares about that God? The God you should care about is the one who actually brought forth the prophecy, who actually told you what was about to happen in the future. And that's the God of the Bible, man. Yo, with that, I hope you enjoyed the show, joined us, and pay your tithes, support this truth. ISUBK.com. Hey, this Sunday, this whole weekend, we'll be up in New York, getting it on, man, for the New York barbecue, doing it up big time, man.
Right.
Hey, please look out for my lecture. You understand? I got the new lecture getting ready to come out. It's gonna come out around October. We're doing it in Texas. Big shout out to Captain Yachtazak. Big shout out Captain Kahantham Yard. You understand? Doing it up down there in Texas. Listen, you already y'all heard the name of the lecture? Let me tell you the name of the lecture. The name of the lecture, and this is a free lecture. This one will be free, fam, for everybody listening. This one will be free. The name of the lecture is video games and pornography stealing your man. In Texas, we're going to do it for Texas brunch. Y'all come and join me. I got a solution for it. All the brothers going to be in there grumpling like, it's a demon out there, and we got to stop it. When we will stop it. All right? Join us next time live. We do it up every Monday night, 9 p.m. right here on the Commander General YAHANNA channel. Big shout out to heavy hitters in the building. General Mayat, General Oz, Officer Marah, Officer Yadai, all the officers that joined us up in here tonight, and troopers, man. Hey, I'll see y'all next time live on the UPK, fam. Shalom.
Damn right, sir.
que tendrá su parrilla anual en Marcus Garvey Park del Noreste en Harlem, New York. Tendrá bebidas, comida y música gratis para la comunidad negra, hispana y nativa americana. Así que vengan a disfrutar día 27 de agosto en Marcus Garvey Park. Shalom Israel. El 27 de agosto el ISUPK tendrá su parrilla anual en Marcus Garvey Park del Noreste en Harlem, New York. Tendrá bebidas, comida y música gratis para la comunidad negra, hispana y nativa americana. Así que vengan a disfrutar día 27 de agosto en Marcus Garvey Park. Shalom Israel. El 27 de agosto el ISUPK tendrá su parrilla anual.
Cookout headquarters coming up next Sunday. Not this coming Sunday, but the following Sunday. You don't want to miss that. The rundown is General Hyman's scripture breakdown class is going to be Friday, followed by Cross the Line. So next week, Cross the Line Radio will be on a Friday, not a Thursday. We're going to have camp more than likely in Times Square. You know what I'm saying? I know the brothers always love the blaze up in Times Square, so we'll be teaching in Times Square. And then, of course, we got the cookout that Sunday. Y'all know we got the Harlem Cookout headquarters coming up next Sunday. Not this coming Sunday, but the following Sunday. You don't want to miss that. The rundown is General Hyman's scripture breakdown class is going to be Friday, followed by Cross the Line. So next week, Cross the Line Radio will be on a Friday, not a Thursday. We're going to have camp more than likely in Times Square. You know what I'm saying? I know the brothers always love the blaze up in Times Square, so we'll be teaching in Times Square. And then, of course, we got the cookout that Sunday.